Now, what's the best way to open in day game? Now, a lot of guys will talk about giving you specific canned lines. They'll give you, hi, I saw you from over there. I had to come over and meet you. Look, some of these do work, and almost everything will work to some extent, but I want to go a little bit deeper into what opening really is and talk about something that very few, if anybody, has talked about before when it comes to starting up a conversation during day game, just the opening process, and why when I take guys out and I do a 7-day immersion, sometimes I don't even mic guys up for the first 48 hours because I'm working on all these other things, and I don't give guys canned lines. I want to explain why I don't do that in depth that I don't think has been covered on the internet before. There's not a lot of guys that are coaching that actually do much day game themselves, so I can understand why they don't really understand this in depth. But there's a few different ways. There's the canned line where you go over, you say, hi, I saw you from over here, had to come over and meet you. LDM model, which is a canned line, which is justifying your existence as a man, which you don't need to do. You don't need to justify your existence at all as a man anywhere you go. The other one is, hi, I think you're really pretty, you know. Putting her on a pedestal, giving her a compliment, letting her know that she's better than you, which decreases your success rate. Then there's the guys that will go over and then they'll keep talking and they'll give some sort of a spiel. I call it a spiel. They give some sort of a long-winded life story about what they're doing and where they're going and what they're up to, and she's just there listening to them. Now, all of these strategies can work, but I'd like to go into a little bit more depth of what opening is, and explain it in so much depth that you guys will all understand, and then you'll be able to come up with your own ways to do it. So before we kick it off, I'm Dave, and this channel is dedicated to giving you no BS, novel dating advice for the modern man. So check out the top link in the description. Go check out my website. That is where you can sign up to do some cold approach coaching with myself, and get arguably some of the most advanced day game strategies there are out there. I teach in direct game, but on top of that, what I do is I start out with the fundamentals, the absolute fundamentals. Without any fundamentals, you can never get intermediate or advanced. So if you're walking down the street and someone comes up to you and starts up a conversation, they come over and they say, doesn't matter what they say, hi, how are you? There's a few seconds, I would say, depending on how fast you react, how quick your reactions are in the moment. You might have something on your mind, you might be in a rush to get somewhere, you might be thinking about you need to get to work, you need to buy this thing before you go to the gym, or you're running through your gym workout routine, or you're running through what you need to achieve today, and then someone just surprises you and appears next to you, and they say, hello, blah, 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 blah. Most of the time, depending on how fast your reflexes are, you don't hear what they say at all. Now, myself, many times when someone that I don't know, switch hands, when someone that I don't know comes over to me and they just surprise me. It happened recently. I had a guy come over and it's like, hi, and it took me a few seconds to register what was going on. I didn't fully understand. Was he talking to me? Does he know me? What is he saying? And I had to replay in my mind in those split seconds what he said to me before I could react. There's a moment there where if you approach a girl, she has to register what's happening, because that's just how it is. We don't, if you're walking down the street and a charity person jumps out of the corner and surprises you, it might not only shock you, but you might take a few seconds to register what they are and who they are. We have these reactions that are immediate and in the moment, and not everyone is as present as they should be. A lot of people are distracted, they got things on their mind, they might have earphones on, they're thinking about their day. So there's those split second where she is registering what is going on. And so quite often with the fundamentals is you will open by saying literally just hello, and then give her a second to register what is going on. Now, I've never heard a day game coach teach this. Maybe because they just go over and then just like a sledgehammer, just keep talking until she registers what's going on. But by giving her that second or 2 seconds to register what is happening, and if you really have a lot of experience and you do this and you go over and go, hi, you give her 2 seconds to register, oh, man next to me, I think he's talking to me, he said hello. Replays in her mind, you said hello, and then looks at you to respond. Most of the time, when you're asking for an opener, you're more focused on yourself than how she is reacting or how it would feel for her. And so what this is kind of is it's a lesson in empathy. Lesson in empathy. I get it. You go over and you want the perfect can line, and you want to say blah 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 blah, whatever that can line is. And then what you want is you want her to respond to whatever can line that is, and you're assuming that she is always switched on, and it's almost you're assuming that she has the ability to react lightning fast, and you're not really thinking that she's a human being and she needs a few seconds to figure out what is going on. And the reason why you're doing that is because you're more focused on yourself and what you need to say in that moment and your own nervousness around approaching. Now, after you get to a certain point where you've done enough approaches over a long period of time and you've made it a lifestyle, you start to realize patterns. And the pattern is you give her a second to kind of figure out what is going on. And then she says something, and because you're relaxed and you're present in the moment, as soon as she opens her mouth, then you can, how she reacts, how her body language is, whatever verbals she says, whatever questions she says, whatever statement she says, you then have the experience and you're relaxed and you're chill in the moment to be able to handle it. Newbie through to intermediate game is going over like a sledgehammer, being in your own head, being worried about your own nerves, being fearful of what she's going to say and fearful of how the interaction's going to pan out, and can line, justifying your existence, putting her on a pedestal, and you commit all of these awful mistakes that reduce the probability of success in day game. And when a lot of my students see me approach, and often say the last couple days I start miking myself up so you can see it in real time, I'll go over and I'll just say hello, and I'll be relaxed, I'll be present in the moment, and I will then react to what she reacts, what her body language is, what it seems like, how she's feeling, and what she actually says to me. And then I'll react depending on that, and I'll be calm, and that will help my reaction time, which makes the entire situation so much smoother. So hopefully that made sense to you guys. I want to go a little bit deeper now. Now, with that understanding, there's a doggy. Where's that doggy? Oh, there's an approach. So with that understanding, so to get to that point of understanding, that takes a long time. And the reason why a lot of guys get coaching is to cut down their learning time so that they don't have to spend years out there approaching and learning this themselves. The goal is to get coaching from someone who's experienced so that you can learn yourself and maximize your results faster, more rapidly, get the learning curve up faster. Now, if you understood the first part of this video, then you understand the second part, which is why I like to talk about indirect day game. Now, you see, when you understand that her reaction time in that very moment, the few seconds that you are opening, if you can open in an indirect way, talking about something in the environment, it's much easier for her to register in the first 3, 4, 5 seconds what you were talking about. I'm not a psychologist, I don't know necessarily why, but often women, if you say, hey, what about this, what about that, oh, it's funny how this happened in front of us, oh, you saw, what do you think that ambulance is doing, or oh, the line in Starbucks is so long, usually it's not this long. Just basic indirect openers, like simple stuff, not complex stuff, not flashy stuff. I won't do this for the next. Once you understand that, something simple in an indirect opener, she'll be, oh, okay, yeah, she'll hear that. She won't be looking at your intentions. She won't even think about that at that moment. She'll think, oh yeah, I was thinking the same thing. The line was long. This is annoying. Normally it's not that long. It's going to take a long time for me to get my coffee. That ambulance over there, the police are arresting this guy over here. There's something in the environment. She's already kind of recognized what's happening in the environment, and you're just pointing out something that she just recognized. She can respond to that. You guys can build some sort of a rapport through that by, oh, you're both looking at that same thing, commenting on that same thing. After the first couple seconds have passed, she now is in that situation like, okay, well, we've started a conversation. Should we continue talking? And that's the moment where you can continue talking and it's a lot smoother. I also, in many of my videos in the past, have talked about how onlookers, you don't want them knowing that you're doing day game everywhere. You blow out your area, you get banned from Starbucks. I recently met up with Bradicus, and Bradicus went into Starbucks. He told me this story. He told me he got banned from Starbucks. I was like, fucking hell. You see, this is what happens when you're a perpetual intermediate purgatory. You have no... the next layer of that is having social awareness and situational awareness, which we can cover in another video, but I want to just talk about and just hammer it out with you guys, why it's so important for you to focus on literally just that first 5 seconds. Show a lot more understanding on what she is feeling, how she is reacting. Is she registering what is going on around you? And just being aware of that off your cold approach. There's no other coaches out there teaching this. I don't think they have the understanding to do so, which is perfectly okay, but that's why you need an older coach like myself. And it doesn't matter how old you are. If you're a total newbie, you're going to get coaching from someone who has a depth of understanding here of cold approach that very few do have. And I recommend, if you're having trouble opening or you're having trouble with your results in general, go to the top link in the description, check out the website, go to the bootcamp or immersion page, go to contact form, sign up form, coaching form, whatever it's called. Fill out the form. Once you've filled out the form, then I'll get in contact with you. Make sure you have some proper contact details there. Your real Facebook, Instagram, your real WhatsApp, whatever, Telegram, DM me, whatever, so we can get in contact and have a chat. It depends on how rapid you want to improve your game. You can spend years out there and go through all of the coaches in the world. Very few have the experience I do, and hopefully this little bit of information is evidence of that, because you won't find another coach out there talking about the first 5 seconds of the approach the way that I just did then. Hopefully. Well, I don't think so. I've been in the community a long time. I don't see anyone else talking about this, and I think it's fundamentals. These are just fundamentals. This isn't complicated stuff. This is just the fundamentals. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you're unsure about me, click the subscribe button, watch some more videos, check me out, make sure that I'm legit. But if you think that this is good advice, sign up. Go sign up, do the coaching call, and sign up to do some coaching with myself. I'll see you guys in the next video.